Okay. I'm live on Facebook right now. I'm not Facebook, YouTube.
Where you get this from?
Huh?
Yeah.
What is that? Was that gum?
Where you get this from?
Hold on the floor.
Some gum under this table. Nasty shit.
Oh my goodness. Sour. They have radar for this, the wrong stuff. Finding the wrong stuff. Hold up. All right, we are streaming live, by the way. I did a test a while ago, and I streamed live successfully to Facebook. Let me see. Yep, in there right now. YouTube. Of course, I don't have a following on YouTube yet. Okay, I go here now. Boom. Live video. Live. All right, y'all go downstairs now. Yes. How about me?
I'm trying to get you to come out.
No.
Okay. Say no.
All right, get down. Get down.
No.
Okay, there's no back on that chair. Yeah.
Come on. Take this one downstairs. Put it down.
No.
Oh, someone who was my husband is that you may fall back on some husband.
Okay. So now, let's see if I'm over here too. Yep, there I am. Live on Facebook, live on YouTube at the same time. Now, how will we manage this video? Peace and power, y'all. This is just a test. This is just a test. Now, how will we manage this video? Okay. Peace and power, y'all. This is just a test. Mute the sound. This is just a test. Right there. Yeah. So I'm on a delay. Obviously on a delay. Peace and power, y'all. Peace and power. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a blacktastic Sunday, blacktastic weekend. Just be patient with me as I broadcast this video. I'm using a broadcasting software called XSplit, and I'm actually broadcasting from broadcasting into Facebook and into YouTube at the same time. I'm trying to grow the platform. Of course, the Uhuru Academy has gotten into online education pretty heavy, and so you know, we're committed to figuring out ways to get African-centered education, positive energy, positive African stories and images out to people as possible. You know what I'm saying? We can't complain about the lack of positive African images out there, the lack of information out there. We can't complain about it if we're not committed to building institutions to do something about it, to use this medium, to use other mediums, you know, to get the word out. to advertise our businesses, to circulate our dollars amongst one another, to build institutions. This technology allows us to reach out to people that ordinarily may not be in your reach, within your grasp. This technology has allowed us to develop relationships that we're going to cherish for a lifetime, right? But as an educator, I can't escape the need, though, to build institutions that gets us or places us behind the technology. For example, this isn't the internet. This is a internet. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's not just one internet, right? Internet is based on technology. The internet is based on technology and skill that people learn. Regular people, it didn't drop out the sky. The super scientists that no one can hope to duplicate didn't make the internet. Okay, that's why they have dark webs, and that's so. This is just a internet, right? And our children that need to be the games that they play, not just Fortnite. They need to be playing internet, like how to build one, right? They need to be playing that. They need to be playing website, like how to design one, right? Right? Coding is a language, and our children need to learn it. So we're committed to using the technology to get the information out there further, right? To help us get connected. The goal, though, is to leave platforms like Facebook and YouTube and ultimately draw people and go into our own platforms that we own and control. That's the goal. That's the goal. Might not be there today, but that's the goal. Shout out to Saif Muhammad El, Mo Power Group, you know what I'm saying, for building a platform. And if you know someone else, black who has built a social media platform, we need to be promoting them. We need to be meeting on their platforms as well as these. Are we just talking? Now, I'm only talking to the people who believe that we need our own institutions. Those are the only people I'm talking to. If that's not your belief system, if your belief system is like, if it's good, irregardless, then I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those who see the potential, right? And who see the benefits, right, of black-owned business for black people. The benefits of building institutions that culturally understand us, that will cater to our wants and our needs. You see what I'm saying? So if we support that, if you believe that we need more institutions like that, that's why you need to support schools like ours, the Uhuru Academy. That's why you need to support Marcus Klein and Freedom Home Academy. That's why you need to support every African Center School, Timbuktu in Detroit, and others. If I don't name you, Uhuru Academy, South Carolina. If I don't name you, charge it to my head and not my heart. But that's why we need to support African-centered education. I'm excited. I believe on the 28th this week, the Wakandan experience at the Irie Connections, Mama Akai. Looks like you put together a beautiful event, sister, centered around STEM, centered around propelling our children into the future, propelling our community into the future. I believe that's next week. Is it from noon to 7 or 7? I have to pull up the flight. I think it starts at 7 p.m. at Irie Connection next week, but we'll definitely be there. We'll definitely be there, and we're excited about that. So shout out to Mama Akai for that event, right? But we have to build institutions around what we believe in, right? And so when you support the Uhuru Academy or the Temple of New African Unity, Repat Nation, and other organizations, you're supporting work that's happening on the ground. Brother Ikaji, Liberated Farms in Detroit, you're supporting work that's on the ground. When you support Smooth Living in Memphis, right? Shout out to Mente. That's a restaurant that one of our sponsors. They make a monthly contribution to the Uhuru Academy. So when you go to Smooth Living, you're not just getting a good meal, and you're not just helping that brother take care of his family and his staff, because he's hiring folk. He's created jobs in his city. See, that's RBG culture. That's RBG culture. He's created jobs in his city. So we need to support that. If you're in Memphis, you have to go to Smooth Living. And Asante Sana to Smooth Living for supporting the Uhuru Academy. part of what we want to do is, as a school, as an institution, we want to generate platforms to make sure that businesses like Smooth Living have places to advertise, have avenues like when people want to get connected to this information, we want to connect them to people and businesses on the ground that support this information, right? So we're looking to forge a strong and powerful relationship with the Black business community, right? That's a part of it, So I'm excited. Peace, Alicia. Peace, Mark Allen. And give thanks. You know what I'm saying? I want to give thanks to the Creator though, and give thanks to the ancestors as well. There's never been a mighty African nation that wasn't spiritual at its base, and so all praise is due to the Creator. All praise is due to the ancestors, for everything that we do. All right. Wanted to go live today. Peace of Kaji. You know what I'm saying? Got to shout out to all those. And again, if I don't shout you out, charge it to my head. Don't charge it to my heart. You know what I'm saying? Peace, Isakaria. Grow freedom, freedom grow, free to grow farms. Man. Shout out to Preem, man. Rick Ross. Shout out to Preem and Kyrie. Preem did the birthday fundraiser on behalf of the Uhuru Academy. He asked for $1,000. We got more than $2,100 in donations in 1 week for his birthday. I want to thank that brother for doing that, for using such a powerful occasion to support African-centered education. A few months ago, Princess Black did the same thing for us. And I want to thank you for doing that, my sister, all the way on the East Coast. We haven't met face to face yet, but I'm looking forward to meeting Princess Black, one of our monthly supporters. And I want everybody out there to know, everybody that's supporting the Uhuru Academy, we thank you, and no donation is too small. And I guarantee you that we are working with the support that you give. That everything that you give goes towards maintaining the school, maintaining our students, right? And definitely maintaining our family as well, because it's all intertwined together, So thank you. I only pray that I'm delivering. I only pray that you look at the size of your gift and everything you've done, and it matches the work that we're delivering. And so, that being said, Asante Sana, shout out to Amin. If you need someone to help you administratively, get with Amin. She's professional, she's organized. She'll help you get it done. Powerful sister, very intelligent sister, who helps me out with my Operation Reconnect program. Without her, I would not be able to keep up. So give thanks to Amin. Thank you, sister. So man, I'll be walking in gratitude. That's why I was laughing when I posted earlier about Iwa Pele and about showing good character as a spiritual leader, a spiritual advisor. At least that's how I wanted to come out. But what came out was me expressing a frustration, a frustration at promoting African spirituality and really supporting it. And let me tell you this. I love Ifa. I love Yoruba, right? I love Udon, right? I love it. I love the sciences. I love the math behind it, the science behind it, and the people behind it, and the people who do it and practice it. Especially those who work and practice and do spiritual work on behalf of building strong Black families, on behalf of healing our community, you know what I'm saying, on behalf of us as a people. I love and respect, ultimate love and respect, But I think one of the things that we have to be mindful of, right? Because a lot of us coming to now, this is the information age, and it's cool. I saw a video of Waka Flocka yesterday talking about traveling and waking up and being woke and just finding new, seeking and finding new information, and I loved it. I loved it. I be seeing young brothers and young sisters on the internet expressing new ideas and theories. And I'm talking about going into the metaphysical, you know what I'm saying? And all of that, you know, going astrological, astronomical, you know, and challenging things, even if it's the flat earth thing, just seeing them challenging ideals. That mean they read, that mean they looking, you know. And I know some just regurgitating videos, but some I've seen many that are out here just studying, and then coming with all these new ideas, and that's a beautiful thing. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Because we got plenty of OGs and plenty of scholars out here that when a young person come with this concept or that concept, chances are, you know, there's a brother or sister out here that thought that before. And they can step in and say, you know what, I used to feel that way, but this is what I discovered. Right? Yo, man, I was on that same stuff as you. This is what I discovered. Like what I try to do is I try to primarily talk to young people that I see myself in as my primary. I'm open to all young people, but when I see young students and young people out here learning and exploring and boo, you know, if I see something in me like, ooh, that remind me of me, then I kind of reach out. Or if I say, okay, look like we've had a similar experience, then I'll reach out and be like, okay, I can speak to that, you know, because I've experienced that, right? Like one of the things we have to recognize as older people, I'm not an elder yet. I have elders. I'm not an elder yet. I know I'm an elder to some young people, but one of the things we got to be mindful of is that I'm not everybody's teacher, right? I'm not everybody's personal teacher. It's not for me to be all up in everybody's business, right? That's how I feel. That's what my spirit tells me. It's not for you to be all up in everybody's business, but you could talk behavior. You know, you could talk values. You could talk character, right? You can speak those things, right? But it's not for you to be all up in other people's business or all up in their pockets and that sort of thing, unless invited in, right? Right? So thank you, elder in training. Thank you, T-Mod, you know. So unless you're invited in, right? So I try not to impose. And then when something happens, I try to just deal with the character and the behavior rather than the person, because I feel like I'm not just talking to that person. I feel like someone else can benefit from the behavior, from talking about the character, the principle, the code, you know, and not make it about your person and somebody else's person. That way, whoever's watching the exchange, right, is taking something from the exchange. And then we're growing, because as we talk about principles and values, it looked like I'm talking to you, but I'm really talking to myself. But it's easy for me to hide behind someone's personal flaws, right? So I don't have to deal with my own. And when you're an eloquent speaker, it's very tempting to do that. It's very tempting to promote somebody else's flaws rather than converse about your own challenges and what you're going through, because we're all going through challenges. And I know more about my challenge than I do about your challenge. But sometimes we act like we know more about what other folk going through than what we going through ourselves. And we suppress what we're going through. We hide what we're going through. And then we throw what somebody else is going through out there like, woo, I got it bad, but he got it worse. Don't look over at me. Look over there. I don't even want to look at me. I want to look at you. That can be tempting. But we got to resist that. So I don't deal with names, man. I deal with behavior. I deal with ideals. Let's put things up on a myotic scale, you know, and let's converse about how we should behave, about how we should teach one another, right? And those are the type of platforms I want to build. Those are the type of platforms that I want to support, right? Or platforms that promote that type of dialogue, you know, based on an African-centered character. Iwa Pele. So I expressed the frustration about there being some priests and priestesses out there that are in the traditions that exploit you know, the nouveau conscious, you know, that'll come in and exploit. I mean, when we had Temple, you know, I felt like and feel like, you know, there was some, and I'm not gonna name names, but I feel like there was some that and please contact me if you think I might be talking to you. You know what I'm saying? But please, and perhaps I need to contact you if I think that about you, if I think you did something like that, or I don't understand your motives. But I've had people come to me and talk to me about feeling like they were hustled, you know, feeling like they were promised something and it wasn't delivered, feeling like that someone came through that was practicing the traditions and tried to get over on, right? And I'm just gonna say it like this, and like T-Ma say, they out there, you know, and that's what I'm saying. The community itself, the EFI community itself, though they have not nominated me to be a spokesperson by no means, right? They have not nominated me to be a spokesperson by no means, right? But the EFI community itself has come to me and talked to me and dialogue with me about how there are bad apples out there that mess it up for the whole bunch. About how there are people out there who learn the science, know the science, but are not exercising good character with the science. Right? And there are people that will take advantage of your excitement to be accepting your culture, your excitement to be accepting your own. They'll take advantage of that naivete and overcharge you, tax you, don't really train you on how to ask the right questions, because that's very important when dealing with our traditions. So I've had people to come, you know, and it's happened to me, you know. I feel like it's happened to me. I'm not going to address that person or persons directly here, but I felt like that when the temple was being heavily attended, that, you know, people took advantage of that, which is cool. If you're on the square, I wanted you to come to temple and absolutely do business. If you're a spiritual healer, whatever, I want you to come into the Temple of New African Unity and I want you to do business, but I want you to do good business. Okay? Not come in and try to, okay, the Temple of New African Unity is an African-centered universalist temple. That's what it is. It's for universalists who are African-centered. A universalist is someone who doesn't necessarily subscribe to a particular religion, but we subscribe to particular core values that transcend religion. But we're African-centered in scope, in that we look at the world from a global African lens. So we study spirituality through the story of African people, through our experience with the Creator, our experience with the ancestors. And we seek spiritual unity globally among African people. Spiritual unity doesn't mean that we're all best friends. Spiritual unity means that we focus more on what we have in common and build bridges and relationships based on that, rather than going to war or not building bridges because we have differences. Not only so we can protect ourselves from common enemies, but also so we can propel each other to common goals. Does that make sense? That's what African-centered universalism is. All right. Now, I don't think you can really Google it because I ain't wrote the Google page yet. But that's the philosophy of Baba Amin Ojuwo. That's the philosophy I subscribe to. I didn't create this philosophy. African spiritual unity has been used as a successful weapon in protecting African nations for centuries. African spiritual unity liberated Haiti. African spiritual unity played a key role in liberating Haiti, liberating several countries in South America. African spiritual unity, African-centered universalism, because you had people who practiced Voodoo in Europe, you had Christians, you had Muslims, all showing, exhibiting spiritual unity during the Haitian Revolution. So I didn't invent it, you know, and I wouldn't bring it up without bringing up the precursors or where I got it from or what motivated me. Malcolm X, El Haj Malik El Shabazz, shortly before he transitioned, created the Organization of Afro-American Unity. So a lot of people mischaracterize Malcolm's last days at like he's trying to figure out, as if he was trying to figure out how to work with white people. No, Malcolm was figuring out how to unify black people, how black people could work together on common goals across ideological lines. That's what Malcolm was working on, right? But it needed to be spiritual. The reason why it needed to be both political and spiritual is that when we do unify, we need to exercise Iwa Pele, good character, when we do it. Right? So that means the black Christian has to understand the black Muslim, has to understand the black Yoruban, Pan-Africanist, Ifa priest, Voodoo priest. We have to understand one another, not fear one another, respect one another, and explore what we have in common and how we can help and use and utilize one another to build stronger communities. Because we're all living in these communities together, but we're not talking because our ideology is different. So Malcolm created that. Dr. Ishaka Musa Barashango, another great ancestor, had a spiritual organization where it was basically a Pan-African Universalist spiritual organization. He was teaching global African spiritual unity. His teachings are another huge influence on what I'm doing, right? On the work that we do, right? So that's who we are, okay? The Temple of New African Unity. One of the mistakes I made, though, is when doing this, I'm a priest in this ministry, okay? I'm a priest in this ministry. That's what I am. This is my, if you want to call it realignment, religion just means to realign. This is my religion, African spiritual unity. That's what I believe in, Peace, Baba. That's Dr. Mukasa Ma'at. Y'all, we got like Imhoteps walking around this month, like modern day Imhoteps walking around, and Dr. Mukasa Ma'at is one of them, And again, for the ancestors to bring us together, that brother and I, we work together in the Organization of the Independent Black School, or the National Black Independent School Organization. Put that NBIO, put that link in the comments for me, Doc. Put the link in put the NBIO link in the comments for me. I appreciate that brother. That brother created the NBIO and started a fund for African Senate schools, where every few months we were sending $500 scholarships to a different independent African Senate school. The Uhuru Academy was honored. I believe we got the second, maybe got the first, either the first or the second reward came to the Uhuru Academy, So we made history with that, and that was people giving. And Dr. My aunt runs a charter school in Philly, and he was like, man, I'm funded, but I want to step out here and I want to help those schools that are independent that don't have charters. So Dr. Ma'at started the NBIO. I became a proud member. I think we have about 13 member schools, if I'm not mistaken. Oh man, a beautiful effort that we're still working on. And that's the thing, y'all. When we fighting and struggling for resources, we can't have all the meetings that we need to have. Another reason why we're so vigorous in getting the donations and things like that in, y'all, is because number one, we don't tax the people a whole lot to be in the school. So we need help. We're trying to build a model where we're taxing ourselves, bringing that money in. The school is doing business, generating revenue for itself. For example, a carpentry program that actually builds dog houses and builds tool sheds and sells them to the community, right? So the school's bringing funds in for itself, and the people are giving, you know what I'm saying, as well. So we're trying to build a model. Then you have the tuition, that you're charging the people for services. So we're trying to build that model. So we need initiatives, like the NBIO, independent schools do, right? So we can come together and work on funding each other's initiatives. It helps us come together. It gives us time. Time is money, y'all. Time is money. I got a wife and 8 children. My time is money, right? So the more support we get, the more initiatives, the bigger we can become. Now, me and Dr. Ma'at, we can sit down and meet, or we can video chat and launch an initiative together because I have the time. I wouldn't have the time without your support. I wouldn't have the time without your support. Those of us who the Creator has gifted to work in this particular area, we need you so we can have the time to get together and merge our efforts. I see so many people that so many brothers and sisters give thanks, Dr. Ma'at. Yes, let's get back. Let's get back. And my serviceship is definitely available. Definitely available. Let's make it happen. That helped us. So that came right on. We ran right to the altar. That came right on time. And the thing is, y'all, you sit back and you see what the community needs. And you look and you say, I don't have the money. Then you say, if I don't have the money, I don't have the time. So then some of us, though, like my crazy self, I said, you know what? I believe in the Creator. Yeah, I do. I believe in God. You can call him God. Or I believe in the Creator, the Creatress. I believe in the God and the Goddess. I do. And I believe in the spirit of the ancestors. I do. I'm a spiritual man. I do. Right? And that belief propelled me to believe that there's no way I can set out to do a righteous act in this world stop me, as long as I remember my Creator and my ancestors. I believe that. I believe that. I believe that even my death will serve. Even my death will build this mission. I'm going to live forward and I'm going to transition forward. Let me say transition because I'm not going to die. When I'm out this flesh, y'all going to see little me's all over the place. All over the place. So I believe that this time, and I ain't trying to die a poor righteous teacher. I believe that this time that I've invested, this time that I've invested in this mission is going to pay off generationally. I believe that. But not having the initial capital, you find yourself making the time for it, doing what you got to do to have the time for it, but maintaining your principles at the same time. So I've had to turn down money. Right? I've had to turn down money. Okay? Look, man, I'm a people person. I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm not the one on here talking about I ain't never dealt with white folks. I don't deal with white folks. I've done business with white people. I have. And been cool with them. I didn't call them cracker in their face. Maybe that's what y'all do. Y'all go to work. Good morning, George. Shut up, cracker. Maybe y'all the ones that do that. You know what I'm saying? But I've worked with them. I've done business with white people. Now I've had white people say, man, let me do this for your school. Let me help. Let me do this for your school. And I don't say cracker. I don't do that. I'm polite. Let me just be real with y'all. Right? I hope I never put off y'all. Please, y'all know. If you know me, you know I'm just not that guy. I'm not the rah-rah guy. But I've done good business in the music industry. I've done good business in the education industry. I've done good business with all types of people. Right? And all types of people have said, I want to help you do what you're doing. And I say, no, this is something that we have to do. This particular business, the Uhuru Academy, the Temple of New African Unity, is something we have to do. And I believe we're going to do it. And I still hold that belief. The amount of support, the love that people have shown us on this journey, y'all, words can't describe it. We've dispelled so many myths about black people on this short journey. We've dispelled so many myths about black people not wanting to learn. We've killed that myth. Black people can't come together. This is RBG Family Weekend number 7. That we can't come together. We can't get along. We're dispelling those myths. We're dispelling the myths that we can't do business together. We're dispelling the myths that we can't keep our families together. These are the myths that I've seen, that I've watched with my own eyes be blown up. that we can't support each other. I've seen us support each other. I've met sincere Africans that want to support Africans. When we started Temple, part of my reasoning was bringing people in one group, get them in one area on one day, right? Where, you know, everybody in that room wants to buy black. Where everybody, you come to Temple, you set up a spiritual center in your community based on our unity, based on our spiritual unity. And you invite the black business community to come in. If you own a black-owned business, especially if you own a black-owned business and part of your mission is to reinvest in the community, you need that space in your community where you can go, where you know everybody in here wants to support my business. Everybody in here wants to see me successful. Everybody in here sees where I fit in the puzzle. Brother Solomon, MVP, barbershop, offers free haircuts when school starts for our students. Just gave us carte blanche with his building, saying, man, you want to throw an event, whatever you want to do, y'all come on down here. We're about to put a library. We're about to put a free library inside of his barbershop. Businesses like that deserve your support. They deserve your support. Like businesses like that, even if you go in and they ain't got the best of what you want, then you should stick in there and support them to help them get the best. Because if they're giving back to us, then they're showing Iwa Pele. They're showing good character. If they wouldn't have let me come in and burn their light bill up, they wouldn't have let me come in and promote positive education and family building among black people, then I feel like that they're showing a type of character that we all can trust. That's how I feel. And anybody that's screaming black power, you can't scream black power without empowering black people. So seek out spaces, safe spaces in your community where we can teach, where we can talk, where we can be ourselves and not worry about anything else, where we can express ourselves, where we can explode the myths. It's part of our goal at the Temple of New African Unity. But you have to practice good character. I've done my, and all we can do is our best, because you also have to allow people who are struggling with Iwa Pele to grow. You have to allow people to grow. And all of it ain't about how folk are exploiting others. It's also the character those of us who are being exploited are bringing into the situation sometimes. Sometimes it's the character you bring into a situation that makes you the fool, not the person that fooled you. I'm going to say it one more time. Sometimes it's the character that you bring into the situation that makes you a fool, not the person who fooled you. See, most con artists merely take advantage of someone else's lack of discipline. Most con artists merely take advantage of people who want life to be easy. So you want life to be easy? I'm going to sell you something that tell you that's going to make your life easy, because you want life to be easy. I see your weakness. Oh, you looking for love? Let me offer you something that'll guarantee that you get the love that you want, because you're out here and you're looking for love, but I know you don't want to put in the work to find love. I know you just want it to fall in your lap. I know you don't want to face what you need to do to yourself to attract that love to you. I could do something over here that'll just make it come to you, and you ain't got to do nothing. See, sometimes the con artist is taking advantage of the character flaw in the mark. Greed. I can promise you money. I can promise you this. Oh, you're going to have that. Oh, you're going to have that because you look greedy to me. You look greedy. You want it. You want to be a star. You look greedy to me. So let me see. Most cons are based on the weakness of the mark. So, you know, we sit talking about such and such fake, such and such fake, such and such fake. But we need to be looking at each other and saying, am I a mark though? Am I vulnerable? Am I vulnerable due to my overdeveloped ego? Does that make me vulnerable? Do I have an overdeveloped ego? Am I overly emotional? Do I overreact? Do I have a problem controlling my anger? If so, I may be vulnerable, because they may promise to hurt my enemies if I pay them, and Sometimes it's our character. Sometimes it's the character of the mark that's more of an issue than the character of the con. So we have to look at ourselves and say, where am I vulnerable in my character? Most of us have vulnerabilities. I do. They've been preyed upon. My vulnerabilities have been preyed upon before, but it taught me where I was challenged at. Where did they tap in? How you get me? Where did he tap into? There it is. That ego. Where did he tap in and made me just not think, not ask no questions, not read the contract again and again? What did he tap into that made me say, yeah, I just got a feeling this is it? You know, when you get that feeling this is it and you don't do your due diligence because you got that feeling that this is it, something has tapped into a vulnerability to make you stop thinking. When you sitting up, sisters, and you looking like, how I end up marrying this dude? How I end up pregnant by this dude? How this dude get me? And you want to focus on the evil in the dude, but eventually you got to deal with the vulnerability in you. How did he get in? What window was left unlocked? What aspect of my character blinded me to the other? What did he show me that I stayed so focused on that I didn't see this over here? Where in my character am I vulnerable? Was it vanity that he appealed to? Was it an overdeveloped ego that he appealed to? Right? So we, instead of spending a whole lot of time on this person fake, that person, I said, no, let me flip the energy. I'm not going to come out and talk about talk about who fake and all that. I'm not talking about that. But I'm telling you, there is something to the statement that, you have to, in leadership, you have to have enough character to where you won't exploit people even when they want you to. That you won't take advantage of people even when they'll allow you to. That you won't keep people weak. You won't keep people misinformed so you can keep your position. That you will empower people. At the temple, we don't treat the Temple of New African Unity like a cult or a place where you got to come and just follow me. Several people have come through the Temple of New African Unity and gone on to do good things spiritually and otherwise in the community. We promote free thinkers, free speaking, free truth seeking. Seek the truth. But seek good character as you do it. Because that transcends every ideology. Seek balance in your character. In whatever you do. Seek balance. And don't stop seeking it. Don't think that you can memorize something that'll give you character. Only experience gives you character. The action, implementation develops character. Learning from your mistakes, getting lost and getting found again develops your character. Humility develops your character. That's another reason why I don't name names and get into all of that, because I know poor character today can be great character tomorrow. I understand that. So what we do is we build a school. We educate the people. So if the people are strong, you get the masses strong. When somebody come with poor character, the masses going to look and say, we see that. You got to come better than that before we support your initiative. Oh, we recognize that behavior. Oh, we've seen that before. That's poor Iwa Pele. We've been talking to the elders who done lived it, who know one when they see one. We see that. We see this in your action. We hear this in your speech. And the people will say, oh, you got to come better. And then when those who would exploit you realize they got to come better than that, they ain't coming no more because they don't have no better than that. Or they're going to go and grow, which means they're going to have to go and expose themselves to some truth. And you never know when the truth going to take over. Been a whole bunch of people thinking they finna get into spirituality for some hustle and then got real in the midst of it. Like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm really affecting people's lives. Whoa, wait a minute. Am I making sense, y'all? I love African spirituality. I love African spiritual systems. But just like with everything, every tool we use, we have to be responsible. We have to separate your personal emotions from this power, this newfound science that you've mastered. Same with Christianity. Same with Islam. You can't get drunk with it, man. You can't get drunk with it when your voice, when the ancestors provide you with a voice that resonates with the people. You can't take advantage of it like that, man. That's a precious gift. Well, okay, you can take advantage of it, and you can get rich. Let's just be real. You can take advantage of it, and you can get very rich doing it. But is that good, EYP? In this particular society, you can get rich lying. Now, I'm not going to separate and tell you to tell the truth because you're going to fail if you lie. A lot of liars have already proved that concept wrong. This is only for those who believe that you're connected to more than just yourself. If you don't hold that core value, then I'm not talking to you. And I'm not judging you either. I'm just talking to those who hold that common value, that common core belief that we are interconnected. That my life ain't my life. Right? That while we do have an individual space, we also have a collective duty. If we're to not just survive, but to strive into the future. We ain't just trying to survive. We can survive as slaves. We've proven that. We survived 400 years. We've proven we can survive as slaves. We're trying to strive. And that takes a different value system. That takes there's no room, you know what I'm saying, for a perspective other than the one that got you here. And that's an African-centered perspective. Hope I'm making sense. So when I posted that earlier, I didn't want to come off as angry. I kind of did, but I didn't want to come off as angry. But I do want people to understand that, yeah, folks should be practicing good character out here. But at the same time, as you build your character, you won't be as vulnerable. In other words, when you come into this knowledge of self, don't jump right into anything. Or make learning what it is a part of it. Make learning what it is. Ask the right questions. Ask the difficult questions. Ask the uncomfortable questions. Ask yourself. Listen to yourself. Do I need to be doing this right now? Can I trust this? Why do I trust this person? Did they appeal or something inside of me that make me not follow my usual protocol when getting to know somebody? Right? We'll look at those who got the knowledge and exploit others. We'll say the shame on you. But we better get out here and build institutions to build up the masses. We better get out here and build up institutions. If you don't want people to hustle, to be hustled, then you got to teach them how to avoid the hustle, how to recognize the hustle. Somebody got to teach that part. Not pointing this person, that person hustling, that person hustling. No, because then people think that person is the problem. No, the belief in the hustle is the problem. The concept of the hustle is the issue. The viability of the hustle is the issue, right? The marketability of the hustle is the issue. That's the issue. The issue ain't the hustler. The issue is the hustle. White man got y'all spending money over here. White man got y'all spending money over here. The issue ain't really the white man. The issue is the one that he got spending the money. You the issue. We the issue. Does that make sense? So we need safe spaces, right? We don't see our beauty. Black people do beautiful things every day. We don't see our beauty. We don't attribute. It's almost like when somebody black do something good, that's special. But the negativity is the norm. But your perspective has to be that the positive is the norm. The negative is the exception. And that takes spiritual training. because that is the reality. We're the most ancient people on earth. We got to be doing something right. Still here. And still growing. In spite of the Ma'afa. In spite of slavery. Still growing. That's a beautiful thing. People say we got to get these folks off our neck. Well, you need the spiritual fortitude in order to make that happen. You need the cultural fortitude in order to make that happen. Our inability to forgive one another distracts us from taking care of some common issues. We talking about they don't let us do this. You know how many rights we have that we don't even exercise? That if we exercise, well, nobody bothers, and if they do, so what? We need to admit that we don't know these powers that we don't use, or admit that we're scared to use certain powers because we feel like we're going to be punished for it. We have the power to educate our own children. Period. Period. We don't have to subject our children to a racist school system. Period. We don't have to. That's a fact. We can buy land. Period. Yes. There's nothing stopping you from buying. We can buy land. Ain't no KKK man standing at the front of the field talking about you can't buy this field. We can buy land. Period. We can build compounds. We can build towns and cities. Yes, we can do that. You don't like the hood? We can build new black neighborhoods. Yes, we can do that. We have that power. We have that right. Some people say they're just going to bomb you like they bombed Tulsa. Really? They bombing you now. Huh? So he said, no, I prefer this way of getting us killed. I prefer this way of oppression. I prefer them killing unarmed black boys and we march down the street and sing. I prefer begging them for a job. I prefer that kind of discrimination. I don't want to go own something so they can come try to blow it up. But you believe in the Creator? Where you go to church? Where you go to mosque? Where you go to temple at? Where the white man is stronger than God? Where you go? Where you go worship at? Where your enemy or the people that come at you are more powerful than the deity you worshiping, more powerful than your faith in that deity, more powerful than your faith in your ancestors. It's like your ancestors is their slave too. Well, I guess if you don't know our history before 1619, your ancestors were their slaves, huh? Damn, if you can't see yourself away from, you can't see your ancestors away from. Oh, no wonder. Name an independent African nation, an independent African empire that once existed in history and existed longer than the United States. I'll go ancient Kemet, like 4 times. Ancient Kemet was like the most powerful nation in the world about 4 times. Kush, Songhai, Meroe, ancient Ghana. If you can't see it, and you can't see it in detail, and you don't consider that a part, see, that's scripture for me. See, when I study Queen Hatshepsut, I'm studying scripture. That's Bible for me. When I'm studying Queen Nzinga, when I'm studying Ya Santewa, you know, when I'm studying Pianki, when I'm studying Norma, all Imhotep, that's scripture too. When I'm studying Harriet Tubman, that's scripture, man. Harriet Tubman's life is scripture. If you're going to study Moses, you got to study Harriet. That's the closest thing to Moses you're going to ever see. Hell, Moses, the sea crashed around Pharaoh's soldiers. Did nothing crash on them overseers on them horses when Harriet was running? When Harriet had you going north, well, nothing stopping them from catching her. There was no militia fighting them. She had to hide. She had to use her genius. She had to use her ability to manipulate. They had to mind control some white folks. They had to Jedi mind trick some white people, man, let them hide in their basement. They had to convince them white people, you going to hell. You know you're going to hell. I don't own any slaves. You're going to hell anyway because you ain't helping. And they had to convince them white folks of that. Them white folks been told they was going to heaven with or without you. That doctrine had to be introduced by the Africans that were enslaved. They introduced that doctrine. Wait a minute, master. Hold up. How the hell you gonna get to heaven and you ain't speaking out against my bondage? If somebody had to win a debate with an influential cracker, somebody had to win a theological debate with an influential cracker, somebody had to turn him. You, or there is no Detroit. Because there ain't no Underground Railroad, ain't no Detroit. Ain't no blacks going into Canada. Ain't no David Walker. Somebody had to get inside a cracker's head. Boom. That's power. That's scripture. That's a miracle. That's a miracle happening. And that's just one of many miracles that Africans have performed in our story here. Many miracles. Make the New Testament, you know what I'm saying? Make the New Testament the Old Testament. The New Testament is our story. In a temple, that's how we teach our story. Our story is scripture. Our story is the stuff that Bibles, Qurans, and Torahs are made of. From our mighty nations, to our Ma'afa, our great disaster, to our perseverance through it all. That's scripture. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's temple. That's African-centered universalism. Anyone that has a problem with you looking at your history as the primary walk with God has a problem with you. They're not your friend. If they want your relationship with the Creator to be through them, they're trying to control you. If they're standing between you and the Creator, they're controlling you. Does that make sense? That's one of them clues to look out for. If somebody look at you and say, no, really, I am E5. Uh-oh, watch them. Watch them. Somebody say, no, but really, you should just listen to me. Really? When you say, man, my spirit told me to, man, look, you need to just listen to me. That's control. Don't ever stop listening to your spirit or listen to anyone who encourages you to stop listening to your spirit. Don't stop listening to your ancestors. When you go into E5, Europe, or any other sciences, the goal is to teach you to commune with your ancestors, not to rely on somebody else to do it. When you're going into Eastern philosophy, understand that comes from African philosophy. Buddha was black. Asians know it. That's ancient Kemetic science that they practice in Asia. So that's what I was talking about earlier. Make sure when you deal, man, we was excited in temple. We was excited. I'm thinking, oh, man, I have to jump into this. I'm going to do that. Oh, man, don't jump. Don't jump. You know, find out people just coming to take over. They saw some money. Because we was never taxing the people at temple. At temple, when you come to temple, you give what you can give, right? And then select members decide to start giving $20 a month, right? And then we would take in whatever we got at temple, and we would give half of it to our host at the time, the Doc Bookshop, right? So temple was never designed to make money. But when people see people, they see money. So we had people running into temple. What you mean black folks coming together for something positive and black? There's like 150 black people, 100 black people, 75, 80 black people. What? Let me get up in here. Now, forget what Bob is teaching here. I can show you how to solve all your problems. Come with me. Come with me. Bob up here telling you, yeah, you got to put in work. Bob, you come to Bob, I don't know why I keep letting it back in. But you got to do some work on yourself. You need to look at yourself. Brother coming to me, oh man, they need doing this, tell me the job. And then yeah, you need to look at yourself. Bob, I can't help it. I'm over sleeping. No, you need to look at yourself. You need to look at yourself. You need to, and I'm talking, certain people don't like to hear, you need to look at yourself. They rather hear, I got you. Come on over here. They rather, come on, that's easy. Give me this much. Give me $300. I'll make it go away. Give me $500. I'll make it go away. Some people would rather hear that than hear, oh, you got some work to do. You got to learn how to forgive. I remember we had the forgiveness classes with Baba Mahara. And Baba Mahara was like, you need to learn how to forgive. And one, we need to learn how to forgive ourselves as Africans. Forgive. I live off this anger. Forgive. This pain defines me. Forgive. And go through what? Close my eyes and look at the person I refuse to forgive. The dude over here say $200. They put him in the freezer. I'm good. This dude over here say they'll make the person disappear. I'm good. And we like, yeah, even if the person physically disappeared, that which makes you vulnerable to that person is still inside of you. That which that person has damaged is still inside of you. And if you don't deal with what's inside of you, the next person is going to get the punishment that person deserves. And you'll be pushing away people that's trying to love you your whole life. But it's very tempting when somebody comes along and take the work out of it. When they take the work out of development, when they take the work out of getting power, when they take the work out of it. Just go over and bash on him. That'll make you feel better. I hope I'm making sense to y'all. So I'm not trying to build something where people just sending me money and getting me rich. No, we talking about putting in some work. Putting in some work. Y'all, we talking about putting in some spiritual work. Baba Lawrence, one of our great elders in the community, has reached out to me. And he wants to, and let me tag Baba Lawrence. I didn't even take time to invite people in when I did this because I'm working with multiple platforms. So I've been tripping. And I appreciate y'all hanging with me. You know, when you got to go do something else, just go do something else. You good. You know, I appreciate y'all hanging with me, though. I do. Let me tag a couple of people that I promised to tag. What's up, Montoya Mental Dialogue? That brother's so professional. That brother platform so cool, man. The Mental Dialogue show go hard in the paint. He say all he wants us to do is think. I only want believers with me. When I say believers, I mean someone who believes in the resurrection of melanated people, the resurrection of African people. People who believe that it's not just going to poof and happen. People who believe that we're going to have to challenge our own core values in order to bring this into fruition. People who can look at it and say, look at themselves and finally say, man, I drink too much. I smoke too much. Man, I need to switch it up over here if I'm going to get this done. Man, I'm going to see where, like me, man, budgeting. That's why I don't ask for big money. I ask for little money. When we start getting the big money in, I'm bringing in accountants. Matter of fact, I'm already talking to a money manager right now. You know, that's another thing that your donations go to when you give to us. It's going to developing our business plan. It's going to bringing the expertise in, right? Because I can only barter so much, but it's going to bring the expertise in to allow us to market the Uhuru Academy brand the way it needs to be marketed, the Temple brand, the Temple message, the way it needs to be marketed, so we can do the administrative things that need to get done, right? So we can hire the accountants, so we can set up the accounts, right? So we can go in and talk to people with means and money and give them the type of proposal that they need. So I keep it manageable. I keep it manageable. Now I want to grow it, but I got to put the pieces in place to receive that growth. See, that's another post I made earlier. See, things can fall in place in your life. And it's one of the things I've learned on the journey with the Uhuru Academy. This year, I've had people who I'm in awe of want to partner with me. Dr. Claire Pope in Kansas City, bringing her staff to the Uhuru Academy to observe me and observe us. This great educator from the Midwest who got the Africans in her school, the only African-centered public school in the country that I know of, got the Africans in her school top in the state on the state test. Her? Then sharing. Anyway, I can't even tell you everything. I ain't gonna tell you everything that we do, that we work on behind the scenes with great educators. Dr. Michael Bell, right here in Fort Worth, PhD, Black nationalist, seeking us out and offering us a space to teach for a year free of charge at his church, and wanted to come on and teach political science at the Uhuru Academy. Serious? These are people I'm in awe of. And they're like, no, man, we want to be a part of this. So all these things are falling in place. But I had to look in the mirror and say, am I in place? Because if I'm out of place, I can't receive it. You know, when you little and your big brother or something throw you that big football, but you too little to catch the big football, and that big football hits you and it hits you in the mouth, it hurts you in the chest, and your hands burning, and it go right through your arms, and you in pain, your eyes watering, and you cousin like, boy, come on, now you got to grip your hands. That's how I feel right now. I feel like a football has been thrown to me, but it's the next level football. And in order to receive it, I got to take some pain in order to catch it. You know, them first catches, when you little, they painful. You jump up, bring it to your chest, boom. I can take it though. Because growth is painful, right? And that's what I'm going through right now. These opportunities are coming. I'm like, oh, this is a big football. So I got to go into training because I'm playing a different game of catch right now. Brother Scythe, this brother built his own social media site, own teleradio station. That brother deserves our support. But that's a bigger focus. Like, oh, I gotta build an institution around Scythe. We can't lose Scythe. We gotta build an institution around Scythe. Peace, Rock. Rock up, QCRBG. We got to build institutions around Rocker Park. Huh? Now he's supposed to be training young hip-hop artists, you know what I'm saying, how to engineer, how to mix, how to get in there and invest in themselves, how to show confidence on the camera, because a lot of these cats are talented. They have no idea about showmanship, though. And you got OGs out here that know how to work a stage and know how to make it lucrative. Encouraging these young rappers, host your own show. Pass out your own flyer. Charge your own admission. Come on. Sales. Like, we need institutions around that. We need institutions that say you ain't got to call her a bitch to sell records. You ain't got to talk about killing niggas to sell records. You ain't got to confess to all your crimes and some of his to sell a record. I used to rob people. You don't need to tell folks that in order to sell a record. I done sold plenty of dope and I shoot a nigga up. You really don't have to tell people that in order to sell a record. And we got to declare that. And we got to prove that right. That's a challenge. That's how I walk around. Like, we have to prove this stuff to be true through our actions. If it's not lucrative, right? And I ain't talking materially lucrative. I'm talking spiritually lucrative. If I ain't getting spiritually rich, if I ain't getting culturally rich, right? And if I ain't getting that land under my feet, because land is wealth, huh? What's the point? So it has to be a plan. When the enemy comes at you, they need to come at you to stop you from doing something. See, people that don't do nothing can't even prove racism. Racism getting harder and harder to prove the more docile we become. We have to wait on an incident. we can sit back, man, this done got better. It ain't got better. You got soft. Things ain't got better. We just ain't challenging them in certain areas. You no longer trying to hold on to land. So no, they're not burning up your barn. You don't want a barn. No, they're not burning the crops and running you off your farm. You don't want a farm. If things ain't got better, you stop farming. It's better now. Ain't like it used to be. They try to shut us down. You ain't got nothing to shut down now. How you know it's better? It's better for them. They don't call you boy. They don't call you boy because they don't think you're full of yourself no more. They don't call you nigga because they don't need to bring you down no more. Culturally, you've been brought down. So they don't need to do it no more. When you was building Rosewood, he felt like he had to call you a nigga because you looked like you needed to be reminded. You don't look like you need to be reminded anymore. When you no longer look like you need to be reminded of it, then they like, good, our Negroes is happy. And we can keep it moving. Well, why waste your time stopping a black man who's about to go kill another black man because he live on the west side, the other live on the east side? Why would a white person stop and say, wait a minute, let me remind you that you're a nigger? Why would he do that? You about to go do it. What? Why do that? You're self-refueling. What? You're on one of y'all finna go to the grave, one of y'all finna go to the plantation. Things ain't gotten better. Just stop building. Iwa Pele got compromised. Our character is compromised. We don't even exercise rights that we have. I ain't just talking about no voting. I'm talking about developing your candidate from the jump and financing your candidate and getting rid of anybody at the drop of a hat that don't just simply speak for you when they down there. I'm talking the power to annex your community, elect your own mayor, develop your own city council, and hire your own police department collectively and culturally. Just like they got a Chinatown, you can have an Africa town, New Africa town, African American town. Don't mean you hate everybody else. It means that you got a way of life that you want to live. For example, most black people be talking about, we got to stop killing each other. Well, you can't live with these other folks if you don't want no violence in your neighborhood. Because violence is built into this society. If you want the only neighborhood in the only race in the world, right, that murder does not exist within that race, then you can't do it in America. You got to go find some land and y'all got to go build that. We talk about we got to stop the violence like the rest of America has, and we got to catch up. White boy just shot up the Waffle House in Carolina. Another white boy went up and killed 2 cops in a diner in Florida last week. You read about the family with all the black foster kids that drove the van off the cliff, killing themselves and the children. Yeah, we got this strange Jedi mind trick going on in us, like we got some kind of exclusive stamp on violence. Every image you see on television, movies about us being a violent, emotional, hypertense people. Then life starts imitating art. And because your culture is not taught at school, your values aren't taught in school, they just getting their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s at school and getting their values on YouTube and through media, what the media chooses to promote. So to get views, I gotta go up on somebody and do something bad to them because I want some attention. I want views. That's a belief that spiritual warriors have to dispel. We can't be soft. We can't be this suffer in silent group. Nah. We got to show our folks how to get it, how to get these resources, how to travel the world. We got to show our people how to get it. This ain't a poor righteous teacher school. We got to show people, our children, how to get it. We got to spiritually empower you to go get what you need. Give thanks, Brother Charles. Give thanks to the ancestors, to the Creator. This is what RBG is to me. It's about self-improvement. And yes, we need a militia. Yes, we need folks to protect our community, but we need a community to protect. We need a community project to protect. Huh? We need safe spaces in our community. Y'all, we have to come together as collectives where you are. Don't be thinking about everybody. As collectives where you are, and you might be the only person in the collective, but you got to get your game up, get your skills up. You got to get yourself up to the point to where you're talented enough to get out here and create a safe space in your community. That needs to be your focus. Not just being on Facebook all day with it. Do that if it motivates you to get up and do something. And I'm not just talking to the brother that's jobless. I'm talking to the $100,000 brother too. The $100,000 sister too. You got to figure it out. You got to figure it out how we can maximize what you do, your skills, your talent. We need more online classes. That's why we're taking the Uhuru Academy online. We're redesigning the whole website. I got a brother building it from scratch. I want to build the most powerful online platform for education that Black people ever seen. I do. I do. I do. You got sites like udemy.com and all that where people can go and share their expertise. Man, I don't just want to teach, man. If you want to teach a recipe online, you want to teach how to cook your way online, I want to provide that. Health and wellness, gardening, I want to provide that platform. We need to own that platform. How to set up an ancestral altar, ancestor reverence. See, I'm not just going to complain about it and not do something about it. I want to create a platform where Ifa practitioners, Euro practitioners, Voodoo practitioners, Muslims, if you African centered with what you're doing, I want you to have a platform. I want you to have a place to come and teach. What are the Oba? What do they mean? We need Yoruba classes. We need that. Moorish Science Temple, you need a place where people can come and see what you're talking about and see the fruits of your labor. We need a place. We need institutions of learning where all philosophies are offered. They're all there. They're all there for you to look at, learn, and judge based on the fruit that they bear. Oh, man. We can do this. That's what that shield is that you see right there. I put up the wrong hand. Boom. All right, I'm learning how to do it. That's what that shield is right there. That's the new African temple. In the new African temple, we seek balance. In the new African temple, we seek the ability to forgive ourselves and thus forgive those around us. We do seek righteousness in our behavior. In the new African temple, we believe in us. And we don't let the disappointments characterize our relationship with our people. We don't allow that. We guard against that. We pray against that. We fast against that. We fast against believing that there are black people and then there's niggas. We don't get down like that. We fast and pray. We work. We volunteer in the community. We make sure we don't lose sight of the fact that we are fighting for a beautiful people. That you didn't become something other than what you was. You didn't become something other than what you was when you woke up. You've always been this. You're just now more aware of what it is. That's all. You've been made more aware of what's already there. That's what knowledge does. It stimulates. It stimulates what's lying dormant inside of you. These are all spells. Everything you read is a spell that's meant to stimulate a behavior inside of you. That's meant to feed a core value inside of you. That's why listening to too much violence can make you more prone to having a violent response. That's why what you listen to and what you watch can throw you out of balance. That's what this is. And I'm not perfect. I'm your brother. I'm not the Messiah. We the Messiah. I'm your brother. And I started to post this. But I'm looking for people. I'm not looking for people. I'm not looking for people. I'll do it when you do it, people. I'm going to do it whether you do it or not, people. I'm looking for people to say, you know what? We need this institution. And even if you walk away from it, Bob, this institution is going to live. Even if you step back, Bob, we going to step up. Them the people. This is what Malcolm wanted. This is what Marcus Mosiah Garvey wanted. We've tried to unify people through Christianity. We've tried to unify people through Islam. and made some very noble and powerful efforts. But too many of those efforts have been made without establishing a connection to who we were and what we did before Christianity and Islam, rather than recharacterizing our existence to say we've always been Muslim, we've always been Christian. Yeah, we ain't always called it that. And who were those people? Who were those people who were the first to say it's something else out there? We're not alone. Who said Amin first? Amin first. Who said that first? Who said that there is a aspect to existence that is seen and an aspect of existence that's unseen? Who said that first? Where did that concept come from? Even Jesus said he ain't bring nothing new. He brought he brought the teachings from the ancient of times. Who were those ancients he's talking about in that scripture? Prophet Muhammad came out the cave, but he didn't come out the cave with no freestyle. He ain't come out the cave with new concepts. He came out the cave building on ancient concepts and letting people know we've gotten away from the concepts of our African mothers and fathers. What was that concept? Peace, or in Arabic they say Islam. He was saying our ancient African and fathers and mothers mastered the concept of peace. Practiced and believed in peace. We've gotten away from. They've laid the blueprint on how to achieve inner peace, which brings outer peace, and we've gotten away from it. That's what he brought out the cave. But that wasn't new. And when we don't acknowledge that, we'll grab these other systems, thinking these systems are not only saving us from white folks and our own wretchedness, but we think they're saving us from being Africans too. We think they're saving us from being all the way black too. Like, I'm black, but I'm righteous. I'm black, but I ain't really no African. Don't call me that. Call me a Christian. Matter of fact, don't call me black. Just call me Christian. See, we think that we grab these systems and you get a promotion up out of what God made you. But if you seek a promotion, if you're seeking a promotion out of what God made you, then you're spiritually undeveloped, because the whole point is to find pride and find love and find power in how God made you, because God made you for a what? Purpose. And how can you find your purpose and shun what you were made into at the same time? How can an ant that don't know us an ant be an ant? Or be the best ant that it could be? Following beetles around, trying to be a beetle. So we have to get out of that thinking that there's some sort of promotion waiting on you out of niggerdom. Becoming woke is not a nigger diploma. It's not a diploma out of being an N-word. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. You were never that. Just didn't know who you were. You're still who you was yesterday. You're just more aware of it. You're more aware of your flaws. You're more aware of where you're going wrong. You're more aware of what it is that you haven't studied, that you need to study. It's making you more aware of self. Some people say, back when I was asleep, you still sleep. I'm still asleep. There's still enlightenment to be gained. All we're saying with Temple is let's go gain that enlightenment together. I see a lot of y'all on fire. Y'all need to come up out of the church. Y'all need to come up out of the church. Islam ain't no good for us. And do. Shh. Work on yourself. Become what it is you feel is missing. Work on yourself. Most time Elijah Muhammad talked about the clean glass and the dirty glass. You want people to stop drinking dirty water? Show them a clean glass of water. If the dirty water is the only water I know, I won't know it's dirty. If the unhealthy water is the only water I know, how do I know that's the only water I've ever drank? And I don't even acknowledge the sicknesses from the water because I've been drinking this water for so long that whatever sickness I got, I just feel like that's what everybody get because everybody drinking this water. So, you know, you mean there's another way? Well, you got to show people that. But if you're not presenting yourself as something that people want to be, if you're not showing people the type of father that you're being, if you're not showing the exhibiting how to build a family for the people, if you're not showing it, if you're not attempting to put it in your life, but you come off with the same attitude, you know, of the mother folk, you know, you'll have people cussing out the preacher, leaving the church, and probably leaving the core values behind with them. I've seen folk wake up and walk out the mosque and I'll be ready to ship their ass right back in there. You gotta stop praying and everything. So people wake up and come back to church, then all of a sudden everything wrong they want to do is white people stuff. Y'all trying to have, I heard people say y'all trying to structure these families and stuff like that. That's the white man stuff. That's cause they do the orgy thing. And that's part of their consciousness. Yeah, we gonna do this. And you know, it now liberalism become consciousness. Polyamorism becomes consciousness. Because you don't understand that family is an African science. That if we're going to build anything, we got to build strong individuals and strong families first. And yeah, that means you got to work, man. You got to be a better brother to your wife. And sister, you got to be a better wife, a better complement to your husband. You got to work. And that's what that means. We have to be better mothers and fathers to our children. We have to learn how to get along as best we can with the other parent, establishing a relationship with our children if we're not together. We have to forgive one another when we come with these ready-made families, but we have to be real with one another at the same time. Hey, we manage your shit. I'm trying to manage my shit. Let's try to manage this shit together. We got to start looking at each other and say, yeah, I want to build a family with you. Not just I want to jump your bones. We go to that lower self first, and then that part of us, that lust part, get hit real hard, and then when it blinds us, you don't see them when people come and warn you and say, look, this is what happened to me. I don't want it to happen to you. I don't hear that because I want this dream I have so bad that I'm not going to pay attention to the details. I'm going to will this. I'm going to say the ancestors want this for me. See, now you done turned it into Christianity. I'm going to call and get a reading. I'm going to pay whoever tell me what I want to hear. See, I'm not going to listen to myself. Baba Whoop-de-Whoop said it, so it must be okay. We good. Then when it don't work out, ain't no real brothers around. The brothers need to step up. They didn't step up and help me. I try to help you by teaching you to love yourself. I try to help you by teaching you the science behind setting standards. There's a science that teach you the math behind a relationship. There's math. These are mathematical equations as well. It's not just love. See, this society tell you that you feel. How do you feel? How do you feel? Make your decisions based on that. They don't ask you, what do you think? How are you thinking? Are you working with your lower self right now? You're working with your higher faculties. Are you working with a good balance of both? That's what temple is all about. That's what my ministry is all about. No one has walked with the Creator longer than African people. No one has a line of ancestors as extensive and as long as you do. All those ancestral memories, cultural memories are coded into our DNA. Yeah, Iwapele. That's Pan-African universalism, man, or African-centered universalism. So I hope y'all got something out of this today. It's also on YouTube. I've been going live on YouTube too. Let me check the stream here. Let me check the stream still going. Yeah, it's still going. I'm the only one watching, but that's all right because I haven't promoted my YouTube page at all. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that's gonna change. We're gonna definitely do a better job in getting the message out there because we have an institution to build. Right now, I need a facility. Right now, we need a place. We need a headquarters. Can't be my house. We need a headquarters for what we're doing here in Fort Worth. So know that when you donate to us, that a portion of that is going towards that mission as well. And we're talking to people like Dr. Ma'at, who's about to hit me to the same real estate league. Anyway, I ain't going to tell y'all everything. But thanks to you all, I've built some powerful relationships. And I promise you that I'm working on myself first. Not just my EY Pele, you know what I'm saying? Not just my individual character, but on my ability and skill set to receive the love that y'all giving me, to receive the support that I've been given. I've been working on that so you can see the fruition, so you can see what happens when it comes to fruition and to lay a structure to make sure that it happens whether I'm here to see it or not. And anybody out there that I may have hurt along the way, because I can't determine whether or not I hurt you. I can say this, that I haven't made any decisions in this fight with the intent to hurt another African. I have not done that. That has not been my intent on any decision. Matter of fact, even when I've been upset with Africans, I sit back and I make sure that whatever action I take won't destroy that African, because that's not my goal. My goal, first and foremost, is to make sure I'm not vulnerable to what I felt like happened to me again. So the first thing I do is I go in and I find out what weakness did they pick on? Where was I vulnerable? What lack of discipline did they appeal to, right? To get me in a compromised situation. That's the first thing. Then I forgive myself. After I point that out, I forgive myself for that. I hold myself accountable, but I offer myself forgiveness for that. Right? Then I forgive those who do it, who did it. Because now I'm going to make the necessary adjustments to make sure that don't happen again. Peace to Amin, one of the most powerful young scholars I've ever met in my life. Y'all, there are some brothers, there are some spiritual workers out here doing some great things. Amin is one of them, okay? He's one of them doing. Brother travels to Kemet, studies hard, done a great job linking the teachings on the walls in ancient Kemet to the teachings that you get in Yoruba and Ifa, and showing that relationship. That's African-centered universalism at work. I believe he's one of the founders of this philosophy, whether he knows it or not. But Amin, your work is very important. Shout out to Tahir RBG, Repat Nation. Akamalu Fest, I believe it's the 6th of May. Somebody put the Akamalu flyer in the comments. Again, at a Gungun priesthood. I'm talking about these some warriors though. These some warrior priests and priestesses though. That are putting in the work for the liberation and upliftment of African people globally. Akamalu Fest is the big gathering they have each year. Man, you outside, you doing your thing, rituals are done, and oh man, powerful. This is where you can power up and get your supplies. Great spiritual workers doing great spiritual work. Shout out to Baba Fakbrano up in Tulsa, Warrior. Powerful brother, man, is very active in his community. Really the quintessential example of what an Ile looks like in the midst of this mess we call America. Yeah. I'm sorry, I just got a powerful message from a beautiful brother. Ain't no accidents, y'all. Ain't no accidents. All right. Any rate, hope y'all got something from it today. I gotta go. I do have other work that I have to get to today. I gotta prepare for the week. The Hoover Academy is still going on. We got one more month in this semester. Then we're gonna start our summer hours, which will be 8 to 12, Monday through Friday. So we will be having summer school. Okay, his summer school, of course, will be at a discounted rate. It'll be online exclusively. But if you want your scholar to learn their story, learn history, want them to get stronger in math and reading comprehension, those are the three subjects we'll be covering in the day school. All right, in the summer school. All right, we're also going to do some Saturday Uhuru camps that are going to deal with trades. We got a master carpenter that wants to do some carpentry classes. We have a photographer that wants to do some photography. We got media arts as well. And we have some STEM activities coming up, community gardening activities coming up as well. You know what I'm saying? We want to do some tours, some Black history tours, Black college tours, whole 9 yards. I'm looking for volunteers right now that want to get engaged with the community with me though. All right. I want some volunteers that want to put some African-centered events and activities and field trips together for African children. All right. I'm going to be honest with you, y'all. They don't beat down the door. A lot of the powers that be don't beat down the door. The Black powers that be, you know, to work with your brother. Sometimes they don't want me around because I might take the shine. Sometimes they don't want me around. You know, I think they don't want me around because maybe my stance is a little bit too stiff for some. Maybe my stance ain't compromising. Sometimes maybe you don't want to stand next to me because you got white friends. And it's a trip because sometimes people feel guilty because they date white people or something. They don't want to be around me or they scared to be around me. Look, if you're bringing bread to the cookout, come on. Just don't bring her. But you know, look, man, if you want to do something for African children, let's get it going. Let's find your spot. Let's find your place. But if you're honestly scared, then I don't want you around me. If you know what I'm saying? Some people support me out the back door. That's cool. Back door their job, back door to school, shoot me some supplies, and that's cool. I ain't got no problem with that. I'm not gonna compromise your position. But you do what you got to do to take care of you and yours. But stay committed to the process of elevating to where you don't have to compromise what you believe. You can build the society and the community that you want to live in. You know what I'm saying? And then that be what we work toward. That be what we work on. All right. But hey, I love you. I don't mind telling you. My sincerest again, apologies to anybody that I may have hurt along the way. Sincerest. I'm not upset at anyone. And I wish peace and prosperity on any African that believes in the upliftment of the global African community. Now, if you don't believe in those things, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to believers right now. You know who you are. All right. All right. I got to go, y'all. I got work to do. All right. Black power. Share, like, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this positive message out here. African spiritual unity. Global African spiritual unity. All right. Let's get this message out there. This is the temple. Black power.